Code S.
I feel like I'm riding away.
Down in the bottom left in the red, he is
StarCraft Life, 이승현.
The top right in the teal.
SK텔레콤 T1 Classic, 김도.
And then to answer the question before, yes, we are calling this teal now. Pretty sure.
teal.
I think that's how
in
it
the
goes.
upper right in the taupe.
No.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if, like I'm actually standing right now while I'm casting this just because my legs falling asleep. But like, what if people didn't know, because I've been casting for so long that I'm like the Bruce Lee of casters. Like when I cast, I'm like doing the splits like over 2 boards.
You're actually standing on your head, like on your hands.
Yeah.
You're like casting upside down because it helps you meditate.
Exactly, exactly. Oh man, I'm trying to think of more epic, like tasteless as some Bruce Lee.
You cast with your legs and your arms tied behind your back, just because it makes you feel like a little bit more in the zone.
When I cast, my voice moves like water, Wolf.
Cast with one eye closed, just to train your other eye to be a little bit stronger.
Okay, so we got the Nexus coming down here. So he might actually go for that build that we saw in the early ZVP we had with Classic. The one where he's not going to be getting forges right away. He's going to go for the Robo.
Yeah. Gate Nexus core. And this build is pretty... Right, it's pretty greedy, but it's good for this map, and it's good for the spawning positions especially. So it's going to work out for him pretty well. Life takes a safer build, which actually is going to, in some ways, might give him an opportunity to do damage, actually, with this early pool he's popping down. Let's see. He made 6 lings, and there's no tight wall. And he sees the lings now. And... You know, he's chrono boosting the Zealot, but this still could do some damage. Lings are definitely getting into the main base. There's no stopping that.
Can a Classic handle this? Let's see here. The Cybernetics core is still like halfway done. We don't know the tech just yet. I do think it's going to be that Robo build that we saw fail earlier on. Problem is that you could see there is a fundamental problem with this build, which is just that Lings do get there and they're uncontested.
Good micro on those probes.
Yeah, actually, not losing even a single one.
The thing is, when you attack the gas probes, you're on the risk of the probe just jumping into the assimilator.
Right. He's got more Lings down here.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to run around the Zealot as best he can. Until the Mothership core is out, he can pretty much do whatever he wants with these Lings. Try to catch this probe, not happening. Damages the Nexus shields a little bit, but once that core is here, he's got to get out.
Yeah,
I think
he's going to take too much damage.
He thought about going into the main base to see if he could find out what the tech is, but Classic could just wait until all those Lings are dead.
And that third hatchery is starting up now.
Third hatch.
Stargate.
And that Stargate. Now I wonder if he'll go Oracles this time on this map with this opening. I feel like he might actually go Phoenixes for once, or maybe even just straight into Void Rays. Because it's going to take a long time for that Oracle to get across the map.
Yeah, I also don't know if he's going to be able to come in there at a good angle. I mean, you know, all the players have been watching each other today. We've definitely identified Classic as very comfortable with those Oracle builds. I'd say he's even better with the Oracle builds than he is with some of the Phoenix builds.
Yeah. This is good splitting on those Lings, drawing the Mothership core away from the rest of the Lings. He wants to come up here and see, and no, not going to happen.
Yep, nice job there, just pushing out those Lings.
So Phoenix is coming in here.
So he is going to go for that Phoenix build, okay.
Yeah, showing us something a bit different this time.
+1 has started, +1 attack, I should say. Same with Ling speed. Spore crawlers are being made as the Overlords are now going to be wiped out. We're not a ton of Overlords on the map to get found, so that's something also to keep in mind too.
Yeah, spores are set up like crazy here for life. He's not gonna allow any damage to be done to him.
Taking no flack there. There's the Robo Bay though. As he just continues to get Phoenixes.
Yeah,
might be going for a timing attack here.
Could be. Could be also a Warp Prism drop where he clears up the Overlords to...
Oh, yeah, totally.
Do a Sentry drop, because he's got a few Sentries banked up in here, and that +1's going to line up for this. I think it could be a Sentry drop that we're about to see here. 3 Sentries, 1 more Warp in, or even put a Zealot in there. Try to do that Sentry drop, lock life out of his main base, and then just tear up the inside. That's a very scary thing.
That's the game can end right there. You do that. And also what I like is he's going to go get the Nexus here and the 3rd base, and then he's probably going to do a drop if he does go for the Warp Prism like you were talking about, Wolf. We have 20 Lings, by the way, being made, so he's going to try to get in here and kill off this expansion before it starts up. Life with a very good game sense and timing.
And it looks like instead of going for the drop, he's just going to get a Bay up here. But this is, again, that Ling rally, and it's not set up in time, just like the previous game. And this time he's got some sentries, but he's not sending them down there because he's got a bit preoccupied with those Lings. But he's got enough this time, and that's what these sentries are really for, rather than a drop, is to defend this base with a ton of life Zerglings coming across the map here. It looks like 50 plus maybe. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold against this next wave. The Force Fields are going to be absolutely important here.
Also, he's coming up there hitting that the wall, but he does drive those Lings out. Oh!
That was scary.
Yeah, that could have been a lot better, and he just got a little bit further up there with that force field. Now, the robotics support base is almost done, so we can start having a lot of Colossi. By the way, that first Observer is going to pop out. Do not lose that. It's so important.
There's that macro hatch. And with all these sport crawlers, it's really... You have to kind of babysit the Observer when it goes across the map.
Oh, well, the probes did get transferred. There is a cannon up over there. And the Phoenixes are no longer having to defend back at home. In fact, they're being aggressive. Whoa!
Those force fields are pretty crazy.
Those were crazy cakes. So, how many Lings got trapped in there? Wow.
A lot. That was like making a beehive of those force fields.
I know, right?
That was pretty awesome.
It's like lock them into 3 different compartments and keep the rest out. I'm like, wow.
How did you do that in less than 2 seconds?
Yeah.
A lot of drones just transferring at the wrong place at the wrong time over here. But a supply lead actually for Classical. He's like slowing that drone down.
Now you get your minerals a little bit later. Aha. Blink being upgraded as well as +2. And getting a good number of gateways there too.
Yeah, a lot of those, and they're going to wall off the backside because the other side isn't as vulnerable because it's the attacking side. That's where he's attacking from usually, so he's going to see any attacks coming and be able to cut those off. So the backstabs are no longer as big of a threat with that kind of wall. Still 5 Phoenixes on the map that are hanging around, but they don't have enough energy to really continue to interfere with anything. Life has pulled all his Overlords back carefully. Again, his creep spread really good here, but it's going to start getting shut down a little bit. And with this tiny count of Hydralisks, with these Phoenixes, I don't think he can actually fight this army strap. He might be in for some serious trouble here.
Let's see. You know, Life's going to be very patient with this. Just wants to try to get that mothership core. So that one force field will go down, and he's like, nah, I can't do this. There's the time warp.
Yeah, just affecting the Hydralisk movement there a little bit, even catching one drone in it. But 5 more Stalkers coming in here. He's pretty heavily committed to this. Now, I like that Life takes the base at the bottom right. Pretty sneaky. And in case this base goes down, in case an emergency happens, he can always run away to that base. It's like his little safe house over there. Blink the +2, finishing up more morals at home. He's going into Storm, as this is mostly a pure Hydra composition he's dealing with. He recalls home, as he doesn't want to do any more of that scrappy fighting, where he might get surrounded. The Zerg player's turf he was messing around on.
Zerg, by the way, is now at 173 supply and is in that phase where he can move out, try to do damage here. This is not like the game where we had the Corruptor, Hydra timing here.
Yeah.
He is taking a little bit of an alternative approach here, going for those infestors, just getting those upgraded Lings and Hydras.
7 gates up right now, active. He's got 500 resources until he starts up +3, which is a good investment here. He's still got a bit of bank to work with on 3 bases. He's being very patient about how he wants to use that.
I do like this bottom right expansion.
It's just an emergency base. He gets a few extra mining patches off of that, but it's extra larva, and in case he's losing the 4th base, he has that to fall back on. Now this is a nice catch on these Hydras. The Lings over here are not going to be able to break through. It looks like that sentry should be able to save the Forge as well, and he's just going to start a cannon and probably walk home.
Well, you know, he might not even have to walk home. It looks like the sentries are going to hold this off, and we have him now moving out now. He's getting some spine crawlers over here, like this, to try to defend this. We do have some swarm hosts out, but not enough to make it a scary number.
Yeah, and Hatch again to the top left, taken up here. And he's got, you know, with that, 2 whole bases that he can run with, which are literally on the opposite sides of the map, top left and top right.
That's
so
very true.
You can't kill both of them. You can only choose one if you scout both of them.
Probably going to get those by Warp Prism or something like that.
Yeah, if he sees them. And you're now going to engage over here with Zealots to the bottom right. Unfortunately for him, that's already set up for. But these Locusts, are they enough to defend this base? That's the question here. How much static defense?
He's chewing through. He's going to come up. No, he's actually going to turn around.
I think there's a bunch of spines there that he's a bit weary about attacking into.
Well, these hidden bases are up and running. This is a Zerg on 6 bases now. Not all of them being used to the full potential, but still.
Swarmhost over here trying to get into a better position to control the map. They're not going to be able to get all the way over to that base just yet. Well, this location that Classic is always trying to poke from is a bit awkward because it's so far away from his base that if he ever wants to turn around, he has to walk such a long way. And it's an angle that Life has already compensated for with those spine crawlers that buys him enough time to re-rally his Locust and get those Hydras at home.
Here come those Hydras now. He's pushing forward over here onto the left side of that, but the Swarm Host can just burrow in here. The Zealot Harass is just not doing really anything. And now we have another expansion over there in the lower center right, but I mean, is that really going to hold? I don't think so.
Well, you know, that's the good question. I don't know if Life really has identified this, and he certainly isn't rallying his Locust that way. We have, by the way, a Baneling Nest coming in here along with the Greater Spire, so not exactly sure what the plan for that one is going to end up being, but it could be for the Baneling run-bys at some of these bases.
Well, he might just have such a big army, he could just make a whole bunch of Banelings and just barrel in there.
Yeah, that's something we see from time to time as well. It just does that extra splash damage you need for the Hydras to clean everything else up. It also kills the Zealots. May even be that he keeps like a few Banelings at home to deal with the Zealot run-bys. You know, that's something else to consider.
That's actually very smart. Yeah, he could certainly do that.
Well, this is good force fields here. He's isolating those Locusts where they can't really fight. He's got these High Templar at the back, ready to fight, but look at this group of marauding Hydras ready to go and harass those probes from the high ground.
And it looks like those Hydras are now going to find this expansion over there and at the center middle right.
Cannons over here are going to make this pretty easy to defend for now. Worker counts 20 up for Life, so
by the way,
boost an income but a smaller army.
Protoss is like maxed out, whereas Zerg is trying to max out, but he's been kind of bouncing around from what he actually wants to have here. And it looks like it's going to be Broodlords with the Vipers and the Swarm Host. This is, again, epic late game. Can he take on Classic's army, though?
That's the question. Classic has a very solid army with these, you know, multiple Colossi, 6 of them at the back there.
Ooh, getting some drones. That's not good for Classic, or not good for Life, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't really have anything down there right now. The Baneling that's still unused so far. And Locust being re-rallied back. Good feedbacks on those Vipers, all 3 of them.
Classic's just so good at this endgame. Oh my god, he won't be able to save that hatchery. That's frustrating. But keep in mind, there's 2 hidden bases here, upper left and bottom right.
Could just slide drones over to the bottom right, but if he gets seen, he's going to lose the base. In fact, I think this base has been seen by a hallucination as these stalkers. Probably not just going over here for a picnic, Tasus.
I think you got it right about that one, Wolf. Classic now coming up and hitting that hatchery. Now, there are Broodlords out here, and, you know, the 4th base and the 3rd base of Classic are not really easy to defend, especially against a Broodlord army.
Yeah, Warp Prism over here, not able to get a whole lot done because of those static defenses set up. But now that base at the top left is so important because if he didn't have that, you know, he'd suddenly be finding himself in a terrible situation economically. Tempests are coming out to help deal with the Broodlords, but this gives Life that tech advantage for now until they're really starting to pop out, where you can zone out this Frost army, maybe hit that 4th. But the problem is there's already even a 5th base established to the north. Oh, a bunch of Fake Stalkers to tank the Fungals. That's pretty cool.
This is smart.
He is just the king of using Fake Stalkers.
I know. I thought we were going to see that this one time, like it was like a stroke of genius, and then he's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. But no, he's been doing it in like every game we're seeing with him.
It just makes sentries more worth it in the late game.
Yeah, totally.
These Zealots are getting a lot of damage done over here. I know this isn't the most important mining base, but he's going to want these drones later, and he's not responding at all here. It's almost as if he doesn't know.
Oh my god, this is like way too many workers to have die. 50, almost 50 killed.
Yeah, that's, I thought he was actually sending units home to deal with that, but he's not even still. Okay, this is a nice catch. And good Fungals to follow it up, and here come those Broodlords dropping out those Broodlings. Corruptor's in the back here as well. Storms here are decent, but he needs to get in on top of those Broodlords, and so far he's not able to.
You know, he just might be doing enough damage on the ground here. The Broodlords continuing to push forward here. Corruptor's getting lower and lower, but Locusts are now coming up here to help defend.
Yeah, now he just needs to pull those Broodlords back, make sure he's not in blink range, and then continue to kite back, and that next wave of Locusts is what he really needs right now. And I think he actually should have evacuated here. Well, does he not have any detection? He has no detection.
Know.
There go the Storms, though. Still a lot of Locust damage here, and really good Broodlord kiting.
If only he knew, you know, there are not that many Swarm hosts left there. Oh, that's it.
GG.
Classic wins that. GG, well done. Game number 3. I think Life overextended just a little bit too much there.
Lost all those drones in his natural too unnecessarily.
He might have wanted to wait until his Locusts were there with the Swarm hosts were there with the Locusts popping out before he actually attacked in there. The Swarm hosts were like an afterthought.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you beat the first phase of the boss. He's like, aha, now try me with Locusts. And it's like, oh, this is why you lost, man. You got to use all your good powers at once.
Exactly. Well, I think the map pick here, Overgrowth was the map for game 1, so I doubt he will pick Alterzim against Classic. That seems to be like Classic's map to play on that he likes to play on. He's not going to pick Way Station, right? So could even be Merry-Go-Round. Actually, that's what I would guess here. Merry-Go-Round, probably the best pick. Yeah. He keeps doing this. I've noticed the Classics coach always does this 2 fingers thing. I'm not sure what he's telling him 2 of, but he keeps telling him. Habitation Station, the gold-based map. We haven't seen it yet today. It's going to be the map pick here.
Classic, crazy game map. Habitation Station's so fun. I love the gold bases. I love seeing them being reintroduced into StarCraft II. We had a lot of dull maps for a while, and now we're bringing back the crazy maps because the game's figured out, so now we can actually have fun for the meta.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, Life is looking exhausted over there in his booth, but he's 1 win away, as is Classic, from getting out of this group in first place.
Yeah. Man, what if Classic wins right here?
It could happen. Be a bit of an upset, I would say.
I think that, you know, when you think about Life, even though he's so good, he gets so far. I mean, he is one of these players. I don't know. Life Classic here, man. This is just a great match. It's funny because it's round of 32, and you know we're getting games like this that are already so sick. I gotta say, Classic's got this epic late game style that really works. I mean, even against a player like Life, you know, where you really can't. You're not supposed to let him be alone. He's making it work. Anyways, now into our final game between these two for now in the GSL